I'm Leah Lawrence.
And I'm her husband, Mitch Lawrence.
And you are listening to the Southern Spirits Podcast, where I regale my husband with Southern stories of the macabre, creepy, and strange.
And I drink.
So what are we drinking tonight, Mitchell?
Well, for the first time in a very long time, we have a wine.
Wine?
No beer tonight. So that's exciting. Our wine for the evening is called Noccalula Princess, vented and bottled by Wills Creek Vineyards in Attala, Alabama. 9% alcohol by volume. And I've been instructed to not read an actual story section from the bottle because we're going to hear the story of this place, where what this wine is named after, here in just a minute. So I'll just read what's on the bottle so that that's not the story, so that it can give you some insight on the flavor. They do have a spot where that says grape wine with natural peach flavor. So that's it.
Yeah, okay.
And this wine is nothing complex. It's very sweet. It's almost like drinking syrup out of a cup of peaches, like, you know, one of those rip tops. And it tastes like drinking peach syrup.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, that's just not juice. That's just like full-on syrup.
Yeah.
And that's what this tastes like.
I like it a lot. It's not as sweet as a full syrup, but it's yeah, it's good.
I do like it very much, though. I gave it an 8 out of 10 because I think it's pretty good. It's a white wine.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if you like peach wine, it's fine. It's like better than an Arbor Mist, but like, I mean, I like Arbor Mist, so there you go.
Yeah, and I think it might only be sold in Alabama. I'm not sure.
It is only sold in the state.
Yeah.
So
good luck.
If you're ever in Alabama and you're near an ABC or vineyard.
Yeah, Wills Creek Vineyard.
Yeah, pick yourself up a bottle. It's pretty good.
8 out of 10. Moving on, our liquor for the night is Barton Long Island Iced Tea. This is a strange one.
Ooh.
Okay, this is bottled by the Sazerac Company in Louisville, Kentucky. 37.5% alcohol by volume. And there is no section on the bottle that really has any information. So I'm going to read you what it says at the very bottom, because it says mixed with sweet and sour and cola. And then it says this. Ingredients: rum, gin, vodka, tequila, triple sec, and natural flavors. So that's what we're drinking. It's literally a Long Island in a bottle without the mixture. So,
which I think is really nice, especially if you're super into Long Island iced teas, because you don't have to buy a rum and a vodka and whatever else he said. You can just buy the one bottle, buy yourself some Coke and some sour mix, and like you have a Long Island. And that was only what, like...
Well, yeah, that's part of my personal section here.
How much was that?
This bottle was $10. It's a liter, and it's $10. And I 100% recommend getting this instead of buying all those separate liquors and trying to make one yourself.
Yeah, because, I mean, you might make a better one or one more to your personal taste if you're, like, super into them. But, like, you're talking about a $20 bottle of booze for each one of those things. Like, that's... And that was $10. Like... Yeah.
This is $10 for this by
yeah,
itself.
You feel a little trashy, but it tastes good, so...
Oh, yeah, super trash. Super trash. But this actually surprisingly makes a pretty freaking good Long Island. Because it's just, you put 2 ounces in the glass, basically fill the glass with sweet and sour mix, and then top it off with Coke, and stir that up really well, and you've got a Long Island iced tea. I like it a lot. Again, you go to a bar and get a Long Island, you're going to pay $10 for that one Long Island, and it's going to taste better. But if you want it at home, buy this instead of everything else.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. Like I said, it tastes like just a little bit of tea with lemon in it, and it's got a lot of alcohol in it. So if you just want to get trashy for cheap, y'all, that is a good way to do it.
Very much so. And with this, I only have a mix review because I'm not going to drink this on ice because I'm not stupid. And all that we have is the Long Island iced tea that we made. I give it an 8 out of 10, so that's what it gets.
It's really nice, and I'm very worried about shots.
Yeah, we are going to take shots of it, but oh man, it's going to be eventful.
So y'all just hang on. I'm sorry if this gets weird later on, but you know why.
Well, that's it for the alcohols tonight. What do we have next, Leah?
We have patrons.
More patrons?
2 new patrons, and I'm so freaking pumped.
Yay! 2 new patrons.
First, we have Tony joining the Possum Passel. Hey, Tony.
Welcome, Tony.
He's joined at the $1 level, which is buy us a shot. And so he's going to get that awesome sticker as soon as we get them in the mail. Mm-hmm. They will go out in the mail to all of y'all that have joined the Possum Passel already. So thank you so much for your contribution, Tony. I'm so happy to have you in the Possum Passel, and you will be getting a sticker shortly. Very excited.
Speaking of the stickers, we just want to say that we are recording this about a week in advance of the release this time. The stickers will most likely be here within like 2 days.
Like Lord willing and the creek don't rise. We're hoping.
By the time you hear this, you'll probably at least have your stickers on the way.
Yes.
But that's all that we got
Fingers
so far.
crossed. Like I said, I will make an announcement on social media when those come in, and I'll take a picture of them. So like I said, you'll know as soon as I get them, I promise. But hopefully we will have sent them out by the time this releases, but no promises because, like I said, I ordered them from a bulk printer, and, their bulk stickers and orders take precedent over the smaller ones. So it's cheaper, but to get them for the price that we can afford them and to have super nice quality, And that brings us to our second Patreon of the week.
Patron. A Patreon patron.
Yes. A new member of the Possum Passel. It's my girl, Angela. Hey, Angela. Hey. She joined us at the buy us a bottle level, which is the highest level that we've got. Y'all, she's my favorite person. She's great.
Angela,
she's wonderful.
You have an inside track. You're not getting any of the goodies.
No, you're getting all of the goods. Angela was a bridesmaid in our wedding and one of my sorority sisters, and honestly one of the coolest people on the face of the planet. Y'all, just a round of applause for Angela, please. Thank you.
Remember, I don't have applause on here, but I do.
Oh, you don't? I'm sorry.
So that's as close as I can get.
That wasn't useful.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank y'all to both of our brand new patrons on Patreon. I'm so excited to have both of you in the Possum Passel. It's just growing, and we're hopefully going to be able to cover our expenses real soon, thanks to all of you. And like I said, if anybody out there has a couple bucks to spare every month that really enjoys listening to us, pitch it our way. We would love to have you as part of the Possum Passel.
You are more than welcome to come hang out. So please do.
Yes, please.
All right. Well, what do we have now?
All right. I think we should go directly into our funny place names.
Let's do it.
All right. This week we're going to North Carolina.
All right.
To the fine city of Toast.
Toast?
Toast.
Oh, I like toast.
Don't we all?
I do. I like toast a lot. Let me just say. I know that I'm getting old because I really do get excited for things like toast now. Like I do. I get excited. I go, oh, toast. That's way better than regular bread.
Is that what happens when you turn 30? Because I'm not there yet.
I don't know. But okay, here's another example because you've witnessed this. Mm-hmm. Once every 2 weeks, I have a need to make a batch of pimento cheese and eat it. I never liked pimento cheese growing up. I didn't like onions. Now all of a sudden I eat onions all the time. I'm becoming an old man.
Well, I ate Brussels sprouts for the first time yesterday.
Yeah.
So, I'm feeling you. I'm becoming an adult, maybe.
No, you just wanted to venture out.
I'm trying.
You saw it and you went, oh, garlic parmesan Brussels sprouts. That will mask the flavor.
I mean, I am trying to eat more vegetables because I was a picky-ass kid. It was a problem. But, I'm trying to be more adult and branching out. So I kind of get what you're saying, but I've never been like, wow, toast.
Yeah, you're doing a good job.
But anyway, back to the lovely town of Toast. Toast is in Surry County, North Carolina. It's just west of Mount Airy, which is a town that you might have heard of.
I have. I don't know where from.
Well, Mount Airy is what Mayberry in the Andy Griffith Show was based off of. That's where Andy Griffith is from.
Oh, is it?
Yes. But anyway, Toast has a couple of different origin stories. You can pick your favorite because apparently the town is a little conflicted over how it started. But these are the two that I found that were repeated most often. So first, the one that comes from the Wikipedia page, and then another one is coming from a local NPR story about funny place names.
Oh, NPR did this.
Well, not funny place names, but it was like weird town names in Appalachia. It was a local thing. But anyway, so the first story is that toast has been called toast ever since they first opened the post office, which is how a lot of town names start.
Yes, that's a common theme in this section.
And that post office has been in operation since 1929. The name Toast was apparently supplied by the post office department, and the name came from an E.P. McLeod, who was the school principal there in the town, and he apparently came up with the name Toast while buying groceries at Hutchins' store in 1927. He was just wandering around buying groceries, looking at the bread going, yeah, toast. We're going to be toast. So that one's a little boring, but whatever. Okay. Now, the next one says that, now, like I said, this one was the one that I got off of that local NPR transcription. Now, apparently, there was a man named Philip Snow who was the postmaster, like the second postmaster in like 1929's-ish. And apparently, he was like, toast has nothing to do with food toast, the bread toast. The story that he always told about the naming of the town was that originally the residents wanted to name it Franklin, which was honoring a prominent family in the area. But the Postal Service came back and said, nope, there's already a Franklin, North Carolina, can't do it. Pick a different name. So all the old people were sitting around and they didn't really have any second or third choices. So apparently they sat around and what I was reading said they were cussing and discussing various names, which I like that.
That's cute.
That is cute. And one day something happened and a guy took a shoebox off the
Try again.
Took a shoebox off the shelf and saw the word toast, which was the color of the shoes. And he's like, well, hell, let's just call it toast. So they did.
Oh, well, so it has absolutely nothing to do with bread.
Maybe. So it's either a guy got hungry at the grocery store and was like, yeah, toast, or, well, we don't have anything else to call it, so toast.
So brown shoes.
Brown shoes or
brown
bread.
Shoes. Mm-hmm. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Brown shoes or bread. That's the perfect way to pick a town name, I think.
I mean, like, but if I were to do that, it would be strange because none of my shoes are cute. It'd be like taupe.
But are they bread?
No.
Yeah, well, some of them might be a little bit fermented.
Gross. I'm sorry, I have sweaty feet. Anyway.
Your sourdough feet.
Gross. It's not nice.
I use those Odor Eaters inserts.
Yeah.
Those insoles. Oh, lifesavers.
I'm sure.
I can wear any shoes I want now.
I'm happy for you.
It's wonderful.
All right, well, that was our funny place name.
I enjoyed that funny place name quite a bit.
All right, well, are you ready for our very first story of the night?
I surely am.
All right, well, like Mitch said before, we're going to talk about Noccalula. Specifically, Noccalula Falls in Gadsden, Alabama. Mm-hmm. Now, that is what our wine tonight is named after. Yes. It's called Noccalula Princess.
And there is a picture of the falls on the label.
It is.
On the bottle.
Noccalula Falls Park is 225 acres. Beautiful country in Etowah County. It's 2 miles away from downtown Gadsden. So if you're ever in Gadsden, it's a short drive. It's beautiful. They've got a cute, like a ride-on train for kids. They've got a bunch of little family attractions and ride-ons and that kind of thing. I think there used to be a petting zoo there, but I don't remember if it's there or not. But the big attraction is the waterfall. It's a 90-foot cascade down into the Black Creek Gorge. And the way it's been raining here lately, I've seen pictures on Twitter that James Spann put up of people taking pictures of it. And the falls are just gorgeous right now because of all of the extra water.
If y'all don't know who James Spann is, get on Twitter and find him. He is the weatherman for a local I think it's ABC affiliate in Huntsville.
He's in Birmingham.
Oh, he's in Birmingham. That's right. I'm sorry. I completely fucked up. But His name is James Spann, Spann, and he is a wonderful Twitter follow. He really is. He does a lot of fun, wacky stuff with the weather.
But he's the guy you trust around here. If James Spann takes his jacket off, you know you need to get into your safe space.
He's there overnight.
Yeah.
Whenever there's a severe weather threat.
He's the guy. So anyway, but yeah, it's gorgeous right now because, like I said, the falls have swollen with all the rainfall that we've gotten lately. But it's a beautiful waterfall. It actually has down in it, so like it falls 90 feet, and then behind the waterfall there's a big cave, like a big flat, like, remember, Mitch, when we went to the Rattlesnake Canyon, it has that waterfall, and then it has that big space where they have the saloon underneath the cliff. Well, that's got a similar space out there. And pre-Civil War, and even during the Civil War, they had a dance pavilion and a tavern underneath there. So it was apparently very cool. And the water, the vapor, the mist off of the falls kept everything basically air conditioned down there.
That sounds
so they
wonderful.
had dances, and there was a tavern down there, and it was just a really cool thing, like just an attraction, I guess. It was a really cool thing. So people have been partying at these falls for a hot minute. But the story that I'm going to tell right now is the story of Noccalula, who is probably made up by white people that want to profit off of Native American suffering. But you know what? I'm going to tell you the story anyway, and we'll get there. All right. So this is the story. Now originally,
a lovely lady whose name was Noccalula and the falls. I didn't have anything to go with that.
No, you didn't. You want to try again?
No. I'm already kind of fucked up.
All
I
right.
don't like this at all.
I'm sorry, y'all. We're blaming it on the LIT. Anyway. Are you okay?
Yeah, that was funny.
Okay. All right. So originally the falls were supposed to have been called the Black Creek Falls after, I assume, the Creek Nation from around that area. Now, according to the legend, Noccalula was a Cherokee. Everybody says princess, but like that's not just. I don't think tribally. I don't think princess is the right word. But
I don't think so.
Since I like,
what's a chief's daughter's name?
That's what I'm saying. Just the daughter of a chief would be my guess. But anyway, apparently she was a Cherokee young woman who was the daughter of the chief. And apparently she had fallen in love with this hot stuff warrior from her own tribe. Like, he was good looking and he liked her and she liked him. And they were like, oh yeah, this is going to be great. Well, it turns out that, as always, her father was going to marry her off to the chieftain of another tribe of the Creek Nation. So she was like, oh, that sucks. And the chief was like, sorry, you got to do it. We've got to make allies, that kind of thing. Well, of course, she went along with it until the day of the wedding feast. And when the wedding feast came, all of the women of her tribe adorned her in her wedding garments. They fixed her up, made her pretty, ready to go. And right as they were in the midst of these festivities, she slipped off and went to the falls. And she stood there at the top of the falls and looked over. And she was like, you know what? I'm not going to live without the love of my life. And so she ran and flung herself off. And she died on the rocks below 90 feet down.
How high? Yeah, 90. That's what I was going to ask. 90 feet.
So
that's rough.
When her dad realized what had happened, he was like, fuck, that's the worst. Like, I mean, I'm sure it's, I don't,
that's like, what he said exactly in that manner, too.
No, I mean, but
fuck, that's
like,
the worst.
He's like,
what do we do
sorry,
now?
Guys. This is going to be a problem episode.
What do we do?
But he's like, I feel bad about what I did. I can't believe she's gone. This waterfall will be named Noccalula from now on in memory of her.
Deal.
And then some of the tales also say that her love, after he realized what had happened, because he had been banished, so he would stay away from the daughter. He had heard what had happened. He came back, and either one of two things happened. It was when he was young, he also flung himself off the falls and died, or he got old and never loved anybody and came back when he was ready to die and tossed him off. So,
wow.
Either way.
That sounds made up, Leah.
Well,
excuse me.
Yeah. Now, this story in print goes all the way back to 1895, and it was written down and in that particular form by a woman named Anne Mathilde Bilbro. She wrote it down, and that's where a lot of people took her story and built on it. It's been songs, it's been books, it's been in all sorts of stuff. But there was actually an older legend that came by that actually may have actually happened. There's an area that was a Cherokee settlement that was called Turkey Town, which is obviously the English translation of something probably much better.
I prefer Honey Baked Ham Town.
Like Turkey Town. But anyway, that particular story of a daughter dying in the same way, but the daughter's name was something completely different. There's 6 or 7 different names for what her name actually was. It's absurd, it's detailed, and it may or may not have actually happened, but that particular event they're saying around 1795, so about 100 years before when it was first written down in the version that I just told you. So like I said, it's probably just white people profiting off of Native Americans after the Native Americans were relocated forcefully by the U.S. government to the Midwest. So like I said, it's a little not great.
Okay.
So it's a very iffy story, and one of my favorite quotes is from Mark Twain, and he even wrote about this in in his book Life on the Mississippi.
Okay.
And here's the quote. There are 50 lovers' leaps along Mississippi from whose summit disappointed Indian girls have jumped. So like I said, this is a type of story. It's a trope that is repeated literally everywhere. Yeah. There's one of the famous ones is Winona, and she's from Wisconsin, I believe. Same story, just a different name. Like I said,
so it maybe happened once, but there are many, many, many stories of it
from the area.
In some way.
There are mentions of this story in one form of another. I've found as far back as like 1830, and then like I said, there was a mention of a similar thing, but not at all as dramatic, from 1795. But there was no one named Noccalula. Like that was completely made up. Like it was, like I said, there are a few different.
Do we know what Noccalula means? No. So it's just a made up word, pretty much.
Basically, they're taking syllables and kind of messing with it. Now, originally, the name that I saw, and I can't pronounce it, y'all, I'm sorry, was supposed to mean like breaking water. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like I said, it's very dubious, and like I said, a lot of the history, quote unquote, was passed down orally. It could have just been a story to entertain people in the first place. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Well, if this was happening in 2018, there would be investigative reports about why so many Native American women are throwing themselves off of waterfalls, and there would be a Harvard study, and there would be a podcast based on it.
Yeah. But like I said, I don't think anybody named Noccalula actually existed. And but they've got a statue of her anyway. So shot in the dark.
Oh, shit. Hold on. There it is.
In 1969, a life-sized bronze sculpture of Noccalula was placed there at the falls. What does the statue depict? Is it A, Noccalula at the base of the falls standing in the mist, B, Noccalula poised to leap over the cliff, or C, Noccalula embracing her true love?
Fucking... You said this one was easy.
It is.
You literally said...
I've showed you the picture before.
Well, I don't pay attention.
Yeah, I know.
But you literally said, since you haven't gotten a shot in the dark in a long time, the first one's easy, the second one's probably harder. I have no fucking idea what's happening in this one. So... She's standing at the base, she's preparing to leap, and she's embracing her lover.
Yes.
Can there be a D, all of the above?
No.
Is she preparing to leap with her lover in the mist?
The mist is at the bottom, the leap would be at the top, so no.
Yeah, but she could leap into the mist from the base with her lover in her arms.
That'd be a little difficult.
You don't think that would happen?
Probably not.
All right, well, I have absolutely no idea. So I'm going to say at the base in the mist.
You're wrong.
Fucking god damn it.
She's poised to leap over the cliff, and at the time that it was erected, they were very proud of the fact that it was the only statue in the world that depicted a suicide.
Well, shit. Well,
Public statue, you know.
oh, there are private suicide statues?
I would assume. I don't know.
That's probably the title of the fucking episode right there. Private suicide statues.
Oh.
That's a good one. All right, well, let's see how terrible this will be in shot form.
All right, well, let her rip, Tater Chip.
I have Coca-Cola to go with it. Oh, this is a terrible idea.
Yes, it is. Better you than me, baby doll.
Here we go. All right, count me down.
3, a 2, a 1, a go.
Wow, that's not terrible. Oh, there it is. Oh. Not whoop, there it is. Ope, there it is. Oh. At the very end, you get a nice tongue full of gin. Whew. That's not bad, though.
That wrong.
That is a much better shot than I thought it would be, and I think I need to go back and give this an on-ice score.
Really?
No. I don't believe that at all. But it seriously, it is a much better shot than I thought.
All right. Well, like I said, the statue is, and please Google the statue. It's hideous.
Me?
It is a life-size bronze sculpture of a stereotypical Native American maiden, just with one foot on the ground. She's leaping over the cliff.
All right, let me see. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a good statue.
No. And they actually...
Was it bronze? Did you say that?
Yeah, it's bronze.
Yeah, so that's why it's green.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see that
It's
now.
bronze. And they got just a random high school teenage girl to be the model, and they dressed her up in stereotypical, awful, not authentic at all, Native American garb. They put her in ugly little Pocahontas braids. They put a feather on her head. Like, y'all, it is white people being the worst, is what I'm saying for this particular statue. But it's still there. There's a plaque telling the Noccalula story. And like I said, the falls are gorgeous. Just bear in mind that it probably never happened.
You can go enjoy the story, though.
Yeah.
And
I
the
mean,
view.
it's fun. It's a fun little thing. But they also say that, you can still see Noccalula's ghost in the mist. And
It's really just the fucking statue.
And like the rainbow... The rainbow is her lover coming back to her, because there's usually rainbow, because there's always rainbows around waterfalls, just because of light refracting.
It's Noccalula.
It is. But anyway.
Shit.
But
I'm fucked up.
Yes, you are.
Oh, problem.
But our story gets a little sadder from here because it isn't over.
Oh, God.
All right. So the only issue that I have with things like that, yeah, it's a great story, but when you romanticize a story that is to do with suicide, someone is bound to repeat it. And in
Definitely.
2000 and I want to say it was 4. I don't think I wrote that down, but I think it was 2004. There was a woman that was disturbed. She was very upset. She was at the falls. There was another family from Biloxi nearby, and they saw her. Her name was Stacy Summerford. She was 29 years old at the time. She climbed over the fence, and she was warned by that family from Biloxi. Like I said, a family, kids, everything. She said, y'all, that's dangerous. Don't go over the fence. Because there is, just a little, it's not hard to get over. It's just a little thing to say, hey, this is dangerous. Stay away.
There's nothing keeping people from the falls.
No. Except for,
there's
like,
a
it's a little
barrier
fence.
that is a warning, like
Yeah.
you were saying. Yeah.
I mean, and normal people that are not, aiming to do what she's about to do, would stay away from it because it is a 90-foot rushing waterfall.
Yep.
But she jumped the fence. She looked at the family, and she tossed her keys to the family. They caught him, and she jumped backwards off
Jesus.
of the cliff right next to the Noccalula statue. So she was standing next to that Noccalula statue and jumped off backwards. And they think that she was aiming to, fall into the waters, but she didn't even hit the water. She jumped too far and landed on the rocks.
God.
And she was dead on impact. She fell, like I said, the 90 feet. And they called 911 immediately, but she was dead.
Yeah, for sure.
Immediately. So like I said, it's really not great that people, I understand the story, and I know that people are like, oh, it's so romantic. She died for her love, but that's why we really don't need to romanticize things like that, because inevitably someone's going to copy it. And then there was also another case, a man named Michael, I believe his name is Georgie, Gorgei. Georgie, I don't know.
Try again.
But his name is Michael, and his body was found at the bottom. He went missing in 2015, and his body was found at the bottom of the falls a couple days after he went missing. And they're unsure if it was an accident or if that was also suicide. And I looked and I couldn't find. I found where they found his body at the bottom of the falls, but I could never find a news article saying definitively if they believed. They only ever said that they didn't believe foul play was involved. So, I said,
he better not have thrown himself off. He's not a princess.
Well, like I said, it's two bodies that have definitely been found there. So 2 people, yes, have 100% died there in the last few years, and I believe it's probably more than that. But those are the 2 that I found. So like I said, let's not glorify suicide and stuff like that, especially not for profit at the expense of actual Native American tribes.
But all of the beautiful money.
I know, right?
All of the beautiful money, Leah.
And I don't mean to be sad, but, sometimes white people
You can wipe away your tears with all of the beautiful money that we've made.
Oh, bless.
Oh, money.
Calm down. You are very drunk, sir.
I'm not very drunk yet, but 15 minutes.
Yeah,
Give
but
me 15
anyway,
minutes.
That was Noccalula Falls in Gadsden, Alabama. It is a beautiful park. I'm sorry for knocking it, but good
one.
But yeah, if you want to go out there,
knocking an arrow because they're Native Americans. Is that what you meant?
No, because her name's Noccalula.
Oh, well, it works in a multitude of ways.
It does. Yeah. But at any rate, it's a lovely place to visit. Great place for picnics, hiking. It's great. Just, do a little bit of research. Yeah. Enjoy your time there.
And don't jump off. And
please, for the love of everything, don't jump off.
Yeah, unless you are a Native American princess.
No,
even then, don't do it. But it'd be a fun story.
No.
Don't do it, though.
Don't let drunk Mitch encourage you to do anything.
I'm not trying to. I said just in case.
Well, anyway, let's make that the end of story number 1.
Okay. We're going to now intro a brand new podcast friend that we have. This is a podcast called Dead Kids Club. They sent us a promo, and they're going to run some of our promos as well. This is a podcast by 3 PhD students in forensics and archaeology, I think they said.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll hear all that in their promo.
It's amazing.
Yeah, so here it is. Listen to it right now.
Hey everybody.
Do you ever think about
death?
Your own death?
What happens when you die?
Will you die from syphilis?
How do human leg fajitas taste?
What do they harvest on body farms?
We have the answers to these questions.
Why do we have the answers?
Because we are doing our PhDs in
forensics
and archaeology.
And we spend more time with dead people than with living ones.
We are the Dead Kids Club,
a weekly comedy podcast
that's all about death
by people who study the dead.
Subscribe to Dead Kids Club if you want to learn about the science of broken bones and decomposition,
the history of cannibalism and the Black Plague,
and the fancy funerals of your favorite dead celebrities.
Join the Dead Kids Club each week for a new rambling adventure into the underworld.
Subscribe to Dead Kids Club wherever you listen to your podcasts.
And follow us on Twitter at Dead Kids Club Pod.
Thank you.
Welcome to the club.
God, I can't wait for human leg fajita night.
You had me at human leg fajitas.
Fucking for real.
I'm subscribed, so y'all should be too.
I think anything would taste good in fajita seasoning, though.
You're not wrong.
Like, I would 100% eat human penis fajitas.
Ew.
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. Don't say that, Leah.
Always take it too far.
I took it too far. Fucking human leg fajitas. Okay.
Y'all give them a listen. Subscribe to them. Tell them we sent you because we think they're cool and we think you'll think they're cool too.
Yes, we're excited to be associated with them, I think is what you were going for.
Indeed.
Yeah. So thank y'all, Dead Kids Club. We'll see y'all again next week when we run a promo again.
Huzzah.
All right. You ready to move on, Leah?
I am. Are you ready for story number 2?
I am ready.
All right.
I hope you're ready.
For story number 2, Mr. Drunky Pants over there, we are going to the great state of Arkansas, to Eureka Springs specifically.
All right.
And we're talking about a heavy hitter tonight. We're talking about the Crescent Hotel and Spa.
What does that mean?
It is the most haunted hotel in the United States, according to their own website.
Well, okay.
Which is like the most haunted hotel in the United States, like .com or something. Like, seriously, it's...
They're really into
it is. They are very into it.
They are the Dave Grohl of hotels.
Like, you can, like I said, for real, it's like the first thing that comes up when you, like, haunted hotel, Google that shit, it's them.
That's not fair to Dave Grohl. He's a very nice man.
I'm sure. Never met him. But yeah, they like offer seances and Halloween packages, and if you want to be creepy at a hotel, they've got you covered.
I hope not like held down under the covers while they haunt me.
Well, not specifically, but if that happens, bonus.
Are they one of those hotels that tuck the feet in?
What?
You know what I mean? Like on the bed sheets, do the maids come by and tuck the feet into the bed? Because it does feel like you're being constricted into the bed in the hotel.
How everybody makes beds.
It's not how I fucking do it.
Well,
I want to be able to run when a ghost comes.
I was say we rarely ever use a top sheet because I hate them.
Yeah.
But anyway.
That's on you.
So this particular hotel is a beautiful, beautiful hotel. It was finished in 1886. It had 78 like resort rooms, so like rooms for guests, I guess.
Sounds right.
It's freaking-gantic and just gorgeous. It was built by the Eureka Springs Improvement Company and the Frisco Railroad. And it was designed by a very well-known architect named Isaac Taylor, and he designed a lot of buildings in St. Louis. So these people are already like top-notch fancy when they're starting out. So it's situated on 27 acres at the north end of West Mountain in the Ozarks, and it was just absolutely gorgeous. It overlooks a valley. Beautiful spot. Well, at the time, resort spas and like healing waters and spring water, it was all the rage. It was like,
still is.
Anything that you've got wrong with you, that Ozark spring water will 100% cure it. You know what I mean?
Is this the Ozark spring water that's bottled now? There's Ozark bottled water.
Well, I mean, it comes from the same like water source, but no, it's not related.
Okay.
That I'm aware of.
I hope not. I don't want haunted water in my house.
So this was the most luxurious hotel that had been built up to this point in the United States. It was fabulous. So they wanted to take advantage of the railroad that was coming through. The Frisco Railroad was building in that area, so they partnered up and they, since people could get to that remote area, might as well make a tourist trap out of it. So they did. And this was such a big construction project that they had to bring in stonemasons from other countries. So they brought in a bunch of stonemasons from Ireland, and they began construction in 1884. And it turns out that like it was super dense limestone in that area, so they even had to build like special wagons and carts and stuff to even mine the rock needed to make this place because it was just unique. You know what I mean? So they had a lot of issues building. There were some deaths during construction, that kind of thing. But over the next 2 years, they hired lots of people and they got it done. And this place had electric lights, modern plumbing, steam heating, an elevator, extensive, gorgeous gardens and landscaping. Everything was done in luxury. They had a swimming pool. They had a tennis court. They had croquet.
I totally want to go to this
pitches.
hotel.
What do you play croquet on?
I mean, a grassy area, but I don't know what it
the
would be
croquet
called.
playing field is called. I mean, they had boardwalks and gazebos, and like it was fucking gorgeous. It was just
go.
amazing. We can 100%. Like it's.
Do they still have croquet? That's the only way. The
Probably.
only way that I'll go.
I'll bring a set specifically for you.
Thanks.
But it's supposed to be amazing. And they even had, like I said, they had a spa and they had the water treatments and stuff, the healing waters of the spa. And they also had a stable of 100 horses. They had dances every afternoon, elaborate themed parties. They even had a full orchestra in-house. Like, this place was the shit. It was awesome. And it was very expensive to maintain. And after a while, around the turn of the century, people began to realize that like healing waters were just like water and they didn't really do shit. And
Good for them.
You know, people began living a little bit less opulent lifestyles. Not as many people could afford that kind of thing, and people just stopped coming to the resort. And so from 1908 to 1924, the building became the Crescent College Conservatory for Young Women. So during the rest of the year, it was a college for young women, but during the summer, it was still a resort for rich people. So when school wasn't in, it was a resort. When school was in, it was just a conservatory for young women.
That's pretty cool.
So
I like that.
it carried on for another 16 years in that way, but it also it was way too expensive to maintain a building that large just based on tuition of very few students. So they closed that, and then in the next 6 years, it reopened as a junior college from 1930 to 1934. That went under too. Once again, big building, very little revenue. Well, here's where a big part of our story comes in. In 1937, there was a man named Norman Baker, and he came to the hotel, and he bought it for the purpose of opening a cancer hospital and health resort.
This fucking building became everything, didn't it?
Yep.
Good God.
And he advertised miracle cures that for people's cancer that required no surgery, no radiation treatments, no extensive anything.
You just pour the spring water on them?
Well, but he called it the Baker Hospital, and he had his advertisements read that, you know, his patients would walk away from the resort cancer-free. Now, a little backstory about Norman fucking Baker. He's
Jesus.
insane. It's crazy. This man, I'm not kidding. I want you to stop right now. Google that shit. Not you specifically.
Stop what? Me?
No.
No, I don't have time to read.
Listeners, I want you to go Google this son of a bitch and read his biography, because it is friggin' fascinating. He did everything. Just insane. He was an inventor. He went on to vaudeville. He was a singer and a dancer on vaudeville, which, okay, fine. And then he became a mentalist, like in the 30s. He was a mentalist on Broadway, no, in the vaudeville circuit. And then he became like a radio. He opened up this insane populist radio station in Iowa. He was anti-Semitic, anti-Catholic. He was an anti-vaxxer before it was cool. He was just an all-around garbage human being.
He's a hipster anti-vaxxer.
He is such a bad person. And he was just this huckster quack doctor. before he even opened up this the cancer hospital in Arkansas, he had previously been shut down with a hospital similarly in Iowa because it was just so bad. Like, he had been shut down multiple times. He's been in super duper trouble with his radio station. Like, this guy has been chased all fucking over the place. But he's in Arkansas now. He's settled. He's got his shit together. And he's hired doctors. And this is in lots of quotes. He didn't hire real doctors.
How many quotes? Because I think the more quotes that you add, the more it negates the previous quotes. Kind of like a double negative.
I don't give a shit. These people were not trained physicians. He hired people that had degrees with their remember when I was talking about Cyrus Reed Teed and he kind of got a degree and they ran a degree mill? Same thing. Like, if you paid $20, you could be a doctor too. That kind of thing. He hired chiropractors, which, great. They crack your bones. They make you feel better. But that's not the guy that you want when you're doing cancer treatments.
No,
they had naturopaths and osteopaths and just people that they were paying to bullshit these cancer patients. Like, it was bad. Now, an interesting fact about Norman Baker. Shot in the dark.
Oh, shit. Hold on. It won't work. There it goes.
Norman Baker was known for a signature color.
Oh, God.
What was that color?
Oh, Jesus.
Was it A, orange, B, green, or C, purple?
What?
He had a signature color.
No, I get it. Like, do you mean that he wore it? That everything that he did was, like, everything in the hospital was in one color? Like, the banners and the rooms, maybe the walls were painted like that?
Yes, literally everything. Him, his car, his clothes, everything was this color. Was it orange, green, or purple?
Well, because he's such an entrepreneur, we've already talked about it. I'm going to say because of the beautiful money that it was green.
You're wrong.
God damn it.
That's why I put in green. I'm so proud of myself.
Oh, he's such a whore. Not you, the guy. the Reed Teed lookalike.
No, his name was Norman Baker. Here, I'll try it too.
You want a shot?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
No, but...
Norman Baker Reed Teed.
It's just Norman Baker.
All right. We sure we're ready for this? I'm fucking not.
Ready?
Yep. 3, 2, 1, go. Not good. Oh, no.
It's not bad. You really You really only taste the triple sec when it's going down.
Oh, this is one of those that as it hit the back of my throat, my body went, nope, and it shot it up into my nose.
I honestly don't think it was that bad, but I also chased it immediately.
I told you, it's not bad at all. It's really not. It's just that my body rejected it.
All right, well, this is the actual only thing that I like about Norman Baker. He had a thing for purple.
Oh, you fucking whore. Mm-hmm. Again, not you, Norman Baker. I'm just really upset now. I'm sorry, everybody. Wait, I just remembered something. Sorry. There we go.
You and your sound effects.
Well, I have to be consistent.
You're not, though. You never get that right.
Never been consistent on that.
No. Maybe your consistency is your inconsistency.
Thank you.
All right. Well, he had an affinity for purple and specifically the color lavender. His trademark outfit was a white linen suit, and he had a lavender tie and dark purple suspenders, and he even drove a lavender convertible. Like, just purple everything.
Fucking hate this guy.
He remodeled the hotel. He put in purple blinds on the window, painted the walls purple. Every bit of the woodwork he painted in bright reds and yellows and oranges, and everything else was purple. Like, just purple fucking everything. He was a purple dude. Like, grape ape purple.
All purple everything.
Which makes me happy because I love purple, but
yeah, purple's your favorite.
But I also don't, hate Catholics and Jews either, so I think that makes me a little bit better than...
On the podcast you don't, Leah.
I love everybody, and I don't care what you choose to believe, just putting that out there.
Well,
your decision.
Way to cover your bases, Leah.
Basically.
Y'all, please don't take anything I'm saying seriously. I'm in a bad way right now.
Shots are a problem. But anyway.
You ever had a Long Island iced tea without the iced tea part?
Well, we just did.
I've had a few of them so far. And
Anyway.
I'm in a bad way.
But anyway, Norman Baker advertised his cancer hospital as a miracle. And even the patients that could not afford to come and get the treatment himself, he also sold his miracle elixir in the mail.
Snake oil?
Basically, yeah. But he sold so much of this shit, it was insane. Like, he was, like, in today's money, he would have been a multimillionaire just from the mailing stuff.
Sounds awesome. Let's start doing that.
That's illegal.
Southern Spirits elixir.
But this scam was pretty bad and awful. And his cure for cancer is, and this is a quote here, he took watermelon seeds, clover seeds, and corn silk. He boiled those in alcohol and carbolic acid, and then he injected that into his patients.
Well, okay. The injection part got me because I thought that they might have been drinking it or whatever, but fucking just give them a slice of watermelon and call it a day.
Nope, just
like, I would take a
syringes
slice
full-
of watermelon.
Watermelon seeds, clover seeds, corn silk, alcohol, carbolic acid injected into the patient. That's it. It was a bunch of bullshit that he was selling these poor, hopeless people that have cancer and their families. He had absolutely no medical training at all. And like I said before, he had already been convicted in Iowa in 1936 for practicing medicine without a license. And once the American Medical Association got wind of his miracle cancer curing elixirs, that, like I said, he sold treatments for a lot of different things, but cancer was his big deal.
Yeah.
And once they got wind of it, they completely blasted him like, this is not cool, it's not okay, this is wrong. And he just fired back with, yeah, the president of your association is a Jew, so sorry about it.
What
like,
an idiot.
He was such a fucking dickhole.
How
like,
is that
it's-
your defense? Like, okay, you hate Jewish people, whatever, but how is your defense, I hate you, so you're stupid?
Well, I mean, the discourse in this country has sort of gotten that way, but yeah, I feel you.
Welcome to the 1940s.
But that's what happened. 30s.
30s. Basically the 40s.
But anyway, so while he was operating the hospital, he defrauded lots of families. It turns out that he was taking advantage of patients that didn't have their families with them. He would get them to sign letters in advance, sort of to the administrators of their estates, asking for extra money. So, like, you know, we've spent so many weeks at this place getting treatment, and, you know, I need an extra $1,000 or whatever. So after they died, he already had this letter that said, you know, and he wouldn't even tell these people's families that they had died. They would just send, oh, here's another letter requesting another $1,000 from the estate or whatever. Like, it was bananas. And to the point where, like, people that were cancer patients would meet other people and be like, oh yeah, we've got cancer and yeah, we're getting treated and stuff like that. And then the person wouldn't show up the next day at whatever function or whatever they were doing. And the nurses would explain it by saying, oh, they were cured, they feel better, and they left in the middle of the night so they could go back home because they were so excited that they had been cured. Those people were dead. They were dying, and at around 11 o'clock or whatever, they would check all of the rooms, and if anybody was dead, they took them out. They wheeled them on gurneys down to the morgue. And lots of people died there because they were not seeking actual medical treatments for their cancer because this guy was a dickhole.
That's just one of my favorite insults, dickhole. It makes me real happy.
You're a urethra, sir. I can't.
Excuse me, sir, but you are one wide dickhole.
But anyway, what actually finally got him in trouble was he was convicted for mail fraud, because it turns out that you cannot make spurious claims, accusations, that kind of thing. He was selling his miracle elixirs through the mail, and you can't do that. You know what I mean? Like, if it's not proven and all that stuff, you can't make false claims through the mail.
If he didn't claim that it, cured cancer, he could sell whatever he wanted to.
Yeah, but he did.
Right.
And he sold it across state lines through the Federal Postal Service. And so that's what got him in trouble. He was making like $500,000 a year selling these elixirs through the mail. Like,
that sounds beneficial.
Like, it was absurd amounts of money that he was making off of this shit. Like, it was insane. Absolutely insane. Just the way he mistreated these people and the patients, and just, it makes me like physically sick. The estimate for how much he defrauded patients over the time period that it was active was like $4 million that he made in 1930s money. Like,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, he was convicted of mail fraud, and he was convicted to serve a 4-year sentence in Fort Leavenworth. And so, yeah, he served his 4 years, and then after he did that, he moved to Florida, because of course he did. And he lived there comfortably until 1959, where he died of liver cancer. Yay,
They let
karma.
him keep all that money, though?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, where was his elixir to save him from his liver cancer?
Yeah, you wonder, right?
I don't know, but some people might.
After that, obviously, the cancer hospital shut down because it was a bunch of bullshit. During the World War II years, from 40 to 46, the building was empty. They didn't do anything with it. But in 1946, the hotel was purchased by some Chicago business folk, and they restored the hotel. It was never like as fancy as it was in the Victorian era, but it was nice, and it started to thrive again. But in 1967, there was a fire that swept through the entire 4th floor of the south wing, and it was basically completely destroyed on that floor. So the next several years, it passed through a bunch of different people, etc. But finally, in 1997, the hotel was purchased by a couple named Marty and Elise Roenigk.
Go ahead. Try it again.
Nope. Roenigk.
R-O-E.
There's not enough.
G-I-N-K.
No, Roenigk.
Ronick. N-I-G-K.
There's a G where it shouldn't be.
Yeah, Ronick. It's still pronounced Ronick. It's one of those, I think at least it's pronounced Ronick. It's one of those where the G's basically not there.
I don't know, y'all.
It's a leftover letter.
Anyway, that's a letter that I don't know how to pronounce. But at any rate...
The letter itself? That's the letter you don't know how to pronounce?
Well, if I pronounced it, it would be Roenigk.
Whoa, Leah. Whoa. Okay, you are
There's
getting
a lot of consonant there, and I
real
don't like
close.
it. But at any rate, in 1997, they bought it, and they were like, look, y'all, we're going to restore this thing. And everybody was
We're
like,
gonna
yeah.
treat cancer patients.
No, they did not say that. They said,
good.
look, y'all, we're going to restore it. And everybody was like, yeah, we've heard that before. But it turns out that they actually did. So they completely redid the spa. They added a bunch of cool shit. They added just all sorts of stuff. They completely fixed everything that had been destroyed in the fire. They added, like, they redid the plans of it. They made it now has a 3,500 square foot penthouse. Like, they redid the original weather vane that's shaped like a crescent moon, which is cool because it's the Crescent Hotel.
That's cute.
Yeah, they restored all of the guest rooms and lounges, and they put in new electrical and plumbing, and just like fucking redid the whole damn thing. $5 million later, this hotel is abso-freaking-lutely gorgeous again. And you can 100% still stay there. They encourage it. And if you're into ghosts, they have paranormal stuff going on all the time. If you want to go ghost hunting through the hotel, You are more than welcome to. They will sell you tickets to do that.
I'll do it.
You can watch horror movies down in the lobby with them. You can
Just watch a horror movie in the room.
They'll do, like I said, especially during Halloween, they have ghost tours and seances and just literally anything that your creepy little heart could desire. They do that because they are leaning into the ghost thing hard. So, speaking of ghosts, would you like to hear some of the entities that haunt the hotel?
If you want to tell them.
Well, I do, because I find them very interesting.
If you don't want to tell them, you don't have to.
Well, I'm gonna, so there you go.
Please tell me them.
All right, so this hotel has been so many different things that there are ghosts from all of the different eras and iterations of what this building used to be. So the first one is one of those stonemasons that died during construction. He is said to look like a red-headed Irishman. He's been called Michael by the people that work there. And apparently he was one of the original stonemasons working on the hotel in 1885. He died when they were working on the roof and he lost his balance. And he fell down onto the second floor area and he was killed. And the area that he died in is now room 218 of the hotel. And
this is documented, right?
Yes.
Like we know this person died. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it said that this is supposed to be the most haunted room that you could stay in. Like the one with the most activity and the most frequent activity. Mm-hmm. They say that Michael is really mischievous. He likes to play tricks on all of the people that stay in that room. He likes to flick the lights on and off. He will slam doors, open doors that are shut. He likes to mess with the television, flipping channels on and off and flipping
one of those
through.
that just annoy people.
Just the annoying asshole ones. He can be heard sort of pounding on the walls. Other people, the one that creeped me out the most was that people witness in that bathroom ghostly hands coming out of the bathroom mirror, which really freaks me out.
I don't like that at all.
No. And you can hear like a man screaming like he's falling off of the roof. Oh, and then another guest at one point saw what he said was blood spattered all over his walls, and he ran screaming from his room and checked out immediately. Like he was done at that point.
That's enough.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So that's Michael. And then also there are a lot of spirits left over from when the hotel was that cancer hospital. Wonder why.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to say, was all of them had to have been cancer patients.
Yeah, a lot of them are. There's the ghost of a nurse. She's dressed all in white, and you see her pushing a gurney, and she's mainly seen on the third floor, and she's only spotted after 11 o'clock, because that's when they came through and checked all the rooms, and they moved deceased patients out at that point in time. So she sort of just, most of the time you can just hear the squeaks and rattles of like the gurney rolling down the hall, but occasionally you'll see a full-bodied apparition of the nurse herself. And apparently during the 1930s, when it was that cancer hospital, that particular area was used as the morgue on that third floor. It still has the old autopsy table there and the walk-in freezer for the morgue, and they do a lot of ghost hunts, seance-y kind of things in those areas. So if you're interested in that, they have a tour for you.
I'm not a ghost person, but like knowing that was there, that's enough
I
for
understand.
me.
It's very uncomfortable. And they're like nowadays, the third floor also houses the hotel laundry, and there was a maintenance guy there that said he witnessed all of the washers and dryers turning on at the same time in the middle of the night. Like just
that's really funny.
Let's do laundry, y'all. Seemed awful.
But all at the same time.
Yeah. And you can also see the apparition of Dr. Baker himself. It's said that he's dressed in his white linen suit with the purple shirt, and he just looks kind of confused and sort of wanders around some of the hallways. That's about all I know about that particular spirit. They just see him and he looks exactly like the pictures of the guy from the time, so they assume that's who that is Dr. Baker. And then one of my favorite things from this.
Oh, you have a favorite?
Yeah. I always have a favorite.
One of my favorite
Mitchell.
cancer patients.
No. So, switchboards. So when phones initially came out, like manual switchboards were used. Like you took one line, you plugged it into the other. Anyway,
Right.
there was a switchboard, and they continued to utilize it in the hotel when they refurbished it because it's cool and they had a switchboard operator like that. Well,
Right.
they discontinued using that and installed a modern board, like a modern telephone system, because they kept getting calls from the basement, and there is nothing in the basement. There are no people in the basement. And they kept getting calls from the
That's
basement.
upsetting.
And that's where they apparently kept some of the patients that were so sick and screaming, and that they couldn't house them with the rest of the patients because they were so sick that
It would hurt morale.
Exactly. So yeah, they had to stop using that antique switchboard because you don't want calls from a place that ain't got no people to call.
No,
So
you
yeah,
don't.
that's why they changed that out. And then there's also another ghost from the hospital era, and her name is Theodora, and she's mostly seen by housekeepers in, I believe it's room 419, and she introduces herself as a cancer patient. Just really
She
nice.
talks to people?
Yeah, she talks to
Fuck
people.
that.
Because they'll think she's a real person, and then they realize that she vanishes after introducing herself. So,
Oh, God.
yeah, I know, right?
Isadora, just go away.
Theodora.
Thea Isadora. Fuck off.
And then there are also a lot of ghosts left over from when it was a spa and when it was initially built, like the Victorian era things. So there's a dude dressed in Victorian clothing with a, top hat, nice suit, and he sits at the bar, and they say that he's got a fancy mustache and a beard, and people will start talking to him, just saying, "Hey, how are you? What do you?" And he'll never respond to you. He never looks over at you, and then eventually he disappears, and you're like, "Oh, fucking shit, what is that?"
And that is Isadora.
No, just an unnamed Victorian kind of ghost. And then there are also a lot of ghosts in the dining room. So the dining room at one point was so big when it was first built, it seated 500 people. It was giant.
The dining room?
The dining room.
Yeah.
They had big dances and parties and all of that stuff in it. And it has a lot of the paranormal activity that the hotel experiences. So you'll see just apparitions of Victorian women in these gorgeous dresses. People have seen groups of dancers in full 1890s ball gowns just dancing around in the early hours of the morning. People say that they've seen gentlemen in, full coat and tails just hanging around. It's really strange. They said that
sounds fun, though.
I know. One of the waitresses that worked there said that she saw a Victorian bride and groom in the mirror in the dining room. And she said
God.
that she made eye contact with the groom,
God.
and then she was very uncomfortable, and they just sort of faded away. And then they like to move shit around. So at Christmas, they have a big Christmas tree, and they have fake decorative packages all around it, just very beautifully done for Christmas. Apparently they came in the next day, and all of the Christmas tree and all of the packages had been moved to the other side of the room.
The tree too?
The tree, everything was moved to the other side of the room.
That's so fun.
They also had moved all the chairs to form a circle around the tree. They said that a lot of the times everything will be clean and fine, but they'll find menus just scattered all over. They say that, pots and pans sort of fly around sometimes in the kitchen. It's just weird.
That's fun, though.
Then one of the spirits that's left over
that.
from the school years of when it was the ladies' conservatory, it was a young girl, was either pushed or she jumped from a balcony to die. And you can see her and hear her screaming as she falls.
Okay. I'm good.
Yeah. in room 202 and 424, you can see a ghostly, like, waiter, I guess, like a room service guy, a butler carrying trays in the hallway. Like, there's just so many different things that, like, it's hard to get to all of them, but, you know, it's a very active place if you believe in that kind of thing. And like I said, it's a gorgeous hotel now. It's beautiful. They have a spa, anything that you want, they've probably got it. Gardens, nature trails, just the whole thing. There's 72 guest rooms to pick from, and a lot of them have their own balcony. So
do they still host things in that big ballroom?
I think they do. And like I said, if you need a spa and a salon, they got you covered. So I'm saying that we should go to Arkansas sometime and just stay there.
I mean, I don't want to go to Arkansas. Like, maybe they can bring that to us.
I don't think so.
But, you know, I mean, I don't want to make a trip to fucking Arkansas.
I've been to Arkansas once, and that week was good enough to do me. But
yeah, but you went for like a Christian cult camp.
It wasn't a Christian cult camp. It was close, though.
It's basically a Christian cult camp.
It was, but
like you told me,
I got $200 for it.
You were
so
very young,
fun.
weren't you?
I was a senior in high school.
Oh, I didn't know you were that old. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, you probably should have known better then.
Yeah.
The internet was a thing. You could have researched it.
They paid me $200 to go. It was fine.
Oh. You got paid for it?
It was a leadership camp.
I didn't get paid for shit in and around high school and or college.
Yeah, because you weren't a leader.
Yeah. Or was it in a Christian cult? I didn't go to a Christian cult camp.
Specifically a Christian, and it wasn't specifically a cult, but it was a little creepy. And
it was a little of both, and it was a whole lot creepy.
Whatever. I got paid for it, and it's fine.
I just wish somebody would have given me money.
Yeah, well, don't we all?
But yeah, I mean, that was your experience with Arkansas.
But I would like to make better experiences with Arkansas.
That's what I'm saying. That's not fair to say that.
Which is why we should go to a fun, creepy ghost hotel.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to, like, if somebody will fly us there, fine. But, like...
Arkansas is not that far. It's not that bad of a trip.
It's far enough. It's like 9 hours.
It's not that bad.
I'm pretty sure. It's pretty bad.
Anyway, but that was our story number 2. That was the Crescent Hotel and Spa.
Well, it's plenty creepy.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad you told it.
I love that story.
Do you?
No, because the cancer guy makes me mad every time.
Yeah, so maybe rethink that.
Yeah. But are you ready for a toast?
Yes, if you are ready to give one.
All right, everybody. Hoist your goblet high into the sky.
Hoist your Long Island iced tea high into the sky.
We are toasting. Get it? Toast? Because the city was named Toast.
I get it. It's a toast.
Yeah. We're toasting Noccalula and the hotel. All right. You ready?
The hotel?
The hotel.
You don't
the Crescent Hotel.
There you go.
Sorry, I'm drunk, y'all. All right. Ready?
The Marriott on 31.
You ready?
Yep.
People are the worst. They make a lot of moolah to see an ugly statue of a girl named Noccalula. It turns out watermelon seeds will never cure your cancer, especially when your doctor was once a vaudeville dancer. Drink!
Much better this week.
Thanks.
I liked that you rhymed moolah with Noccalula.
Yeah.
That was good.
It was either that or hula, and I couldn't work it in.
Yeah, how could hula be in there?
It's the only thing I could think of that rhymed with Noccalula.
People like to hoop, hula. That's pretty good.
No.
Hey, just consult with me from now on.
All right.
I'll give you some gems like hoop, hula.
That's great. Well, you want to outro us?
Yeah, if that's what we want to do.
Well, let's outro it right now.
All right. Everybody come see us October 19th. That's a Friday. In Jasper, Alabama. We will be recording live. Come see us at the Tallulah Brewing Company.
It's going to be awesome.
We are going to have a great time. Don't know if y'all will, but we sure will.
If you show up and you decide to order a beer, you're going to have a great time.
I believe so. Follow us on all your social medias. Just search for Southern Spirits Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You'll find us. Get on iTunes, Facebook, anywhere you can find, and give us a review. And once you send us a screenshot of that with your address, we'll send you a free pack of 5 stickers. Make sure to get on our Patreon. That's patreon.com/Southern Spirits Podcast. Become a member of the Possum Passel. and you can get a whole bunch more goodies. Our store will hopefully be up and running very soon. We've got a whole bunch of designs, and we're going to be working on them over the next day or two. So be on the lookout for that. Order some fun swag. If you have any personal stories that you want to tell us, or any fun alcohols that we should try that are from the South, send us an email to southernspiritspodcast@gmail.com. Send us any fun things that you have, postcards especially, to our P.O. Box. That's P.O. Box 1743, Hartselle, Alabama, Hartselle 35640. And we'll see y'all next week.
Bye, y'all.